How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. It's a tale as old as time. Morgan Stanley just did what Blackrock did about a year ago. They've done what countless other institutions have done as well. And I think a lot of people are missing it. A lot of people aren't noticing it. We had the 13F filings, and it showed us something very important, something very interesting that happens over and over. I want to talk to you about that. If you guys like this kind of video, walking through the forest or just crypto content in general, consider subscribing. There's a link underneath the video to Margex. There you can sign up. You can start leverage trading in just a few seconds because all you need to do is give them your email, a password, and then check their terms and conditions, and you can start trading. And just a reminder too, with the subscribing, we are close to 300,000 subscribers. Pretty cool milestone there. If you don't mind helping us get there, that would be awesome. Now, being swarmed by gnats or something in the forest here, but need to get a little bit of exercise in. I saw something interesting today. Obviously, we have the 13F filings coming from a lot of large institutions, and I've been talking about that recently. If you don't know what that is, that's basically large money managers, large institutions that have $100 million plus in assets. Every 90 days, they're required to go tell the government what they're buying. And we've gotten a lot of them recently for the Bitcoin ETFs. Now, Morgan Stanley showed something very interesting. It came out like a month or two ago that they were considering pushing their clients or telling their clients about the Bitcoin ETFs, which is cool, right? More people are starting to buy Bitcoin ETFs. Morgan Stanley has a lot in AUM. But what came out yesterday was interesting. They already had about a $200 million position. Now, about 2 weeks ago is when they were able to start selling their ETF or start talking to their clients about the Bitcoin ETFs. So something doesn't match up because these are due 45 days after the end of the quarter. They already had about $200 million worth of Bitcoin ETF before they could even tell their clients about it. Now, it came out that that's like within their own portfolios. Now, this is something that's interesting. Blackrock did something pretty similar. They had a closed private Bitcoin fund about 6 months to a year before they had their Bitcoin ETF. So they were able to get their wealthy clients, maybe some large hedge funds, into this Bitcoin trade when Bitcoin was around $25,000. Then when the ETFs launched, the ETF was launched around $40,000. So their clients were already up significantly. And then from there, obviously, they're up even more now with Bitcoin ETFs continuously taking inflows and then causing the price of Bitcoin to go up. So they were able to get wealthy individuals, hedge funds in before. Now, Morgan Stanley seems to have done something similar, right? They were able to buy Bitcoin ETFs before they sell it to their 15,000 clients. Now, I'm not saying that this is necessarily devious, not 15,000 clients, sorry, through their 15,000 financial advisors. I'm not saying this is necessarily devious. Sometimes compliance departments take a while to approve. Sometimes it takes a while to do research. Sometimes they want results. And they have some clients that can take riskier bets legally. So it's not necessarily always devious, but it's a tale as old as time. People aren't excited about an asset until someone gives them the confidence to go buy that asset. And how do you give confidence? Well, you put your money where your mouth is and you buy it yourself. So now Blackrock has bought Bitcoin. Fidelity has bought Bitcoin. 414 financial institutions bought IBIT. I think it was around 900 or more bought the Bitcoin ETFs in general. And that was last quarter. Now it's even more. I believe they had an increase of 30 to 40% financial institutions. And a lot of financial institutions increased their positions as well. But it's a tale as old as time. People get flooded out of the market. People see negative news. People see all kinds of FUD spread and Bitcoin's price isn't going up for a couple months. And they get faked out of the market. What you have to do is look at what's actually happening. And I know that's basically what this channel is to show you what's actually happening behind the scenes. So let's talk about that. Again, there's a link to Margex underneath the video in case you want to trade a bit. But what is actually happening? Okay, we have Morgan Stanley buying a couple $100 million worth of Bitcoin. We have, what's the other one? We had another big institution, not Morgan Stanley, but one that always seems similar to me for some reason in the name. They bought $400 million, another huge $1 trillion asset manager. We have news that Wells Fargo might approve and start selling through their advisors here soon. We have Blackrock and Fidelity buying themselves, pushing clients to buy, and talking on CNBC about it all the time. They're Bitcoin ETFs. The most successful launch ever. We have nations and presidential candidates talking about buying and holding Bitcoin. We have regulation clearing up. We have a pretty good financial backdrop. Of course, some people think we're in recession, but based on the definition of the word, we're not in recession yet. GDP is still increasing. We had unemployment come in lower than expected. We had retail sales come in higher than expected. So the economy looks pretty decent, actually. So we have good news on the Bitcoin front, good news on the political / regulatory land front, good news on the, what was the last thing I was just talking about? Good news on pretty much every front out there, right? Good news in every sense of the word. But what hasn't changed is the price. Now tell me what this means. Everything gets better. The asset looks better. Oh, the economy is the last thing I was talking about. Also, rates probably going to drop. Sorry, bouncing around a bit here. But rates are most likely going to drop starting next month. So riddle me this. Everything looks better. The asset itself, the landscape around the asset, the financial conditions that the asset does well in, everything improves. And yet the asset price stays the same or goes down. Now, I guess there are two different options here, right? Three different options. Is the asset at a better value, a worse value, or the same value? Obviously, it's at a better value, right? It is a better value. It's more undervalued if all those things are the case. Now, most people, again, they need some confirmation that what they're buying is the right thing to buy, or that they're buying at a good price. What more confirmation do you need, right? Do you need price to go up? Because just by that definition, if you need the price to go up to feel good about your buys, when everything else is pointing and screaming, hey, this is a good purchase, it's better, it's a better value, everyone is getting their hands on it, there's some FUD out there, but everyone seems like is trying to buy this asset. If you need the price to go up to feel good about it, then necessarily you are buying at a worse value, right? You're buying at the worst time. You're waiting to buy until the price goes up so you can give yourself a pat on the back, when really you should be buying when all this good news is coming in and the price isn't budging. Now, what does it take for the price to budge? Maybe looser financial conditions, maybe someone else buying, maybe a reduction in all the crazy overhangs that we've had, right? Mt. Gox sells, is redistributing Bitcoin. Germany sold 50,000 Bitcoin. The US seems to be either moving around Bitcoin or dumping Bitcoin. We have some other things that have happened as well. They have just caused the price to go down. But you look for the next year and a lot of things look bullish. One thing I didn't even mention is the money that's being redistributed back to crypto buyers, the people that had money at FTX. So all this good news is coming in, all this bad news we're past, and yet the price hasn't moved. So I don't know about you, but I feel like this thing is going to continue to happen where people get forced out positions, or they get too bearish, they get too bored. Some big institution comes in, says, yeah, we were actually buying the whole time. We were buying even before our clients could buy. People get bullish again. The price doesn't move. and then they get bored again. They get annoyed again, and then sell. And then someone else comes in and says that they bought. And this cycle continues. The key is to stay long-term focused, stay focused on the fundamentals. The fundamentals are more important than the price action if you're looking for the future price action. And then just wait, right? This is a bit of a, I don't want to say boring time, because there's so many fundamental pieces of news that are coming out. But in general, the price has been muted. So stay focused, stay paying attention to what's happening in the market, because before you know it, price is gonna run away from us. Maybe there's some dips before then, but you definitely don't want to be out of the market. But of course, do your own due diligence, right? I didn't know your own financial situation. If you want to check out the links underneath the video to Margex, you can start trading crypto. If you don't mind, hit subscribe so you can see future videos just like this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.